Okay, I can't play the whole song. We're doing a postmortem on the 2025 Yankees live. Join us, won't you?
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsulias. He's Brian McKeon. How you feeling?
There's water in here, I swear.
Yeah. I was over it in literally 3 seconds, but we'll talk about that more. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Today's show is just going to be a funeral for the 2025 Yankees, who could not step it up when we needed them to. How dare you? We're going to talk about everything that happened in this game. And we'll talk about the other, at least the Tigers woke up in their game. So we'll talk about that later in the show. And we'll talk to you guys in the chat. Let's all commiserate. Let's all complain. Remember when Steve co-hosted with me? We always joked about it being a locked on therapy session because it was 2023 and they didn't do well in 2023. So this is going to be our locked on therapy session for late night, October 8th into October 9th, 2025. So Brian, do you know what one of my biggest baseball pet peeves is?
Oh, I mean, there's a ton. No, I don't know what your biggest one is.
When someone works a walk and the next batter swings at the first pitch and hits an out, a pop-up, fly out, whatever it is, but swinging at the first pitch and making an out, that is
at Austin Wells. One
of my biggest pet peeves, other than 0-2 to 3-2 or 0-2 to a hit. Yeah, that's when I was livid. And then after that, I was like, well, they're not coming back, so it doesn't matter. But I was livid. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves during the regular season. And if I were his manager and this were the regular season and they had another game coming up tomorrow, I would have benched his Tookus, because how do you do that? And Austin Wells is normally smarter than that. He's one of the guys who does like 6 or 7 pitch at bats and works pitchers. And I just could not believe that he did that. Yeah. I mean, I know there were many reasons why they lost tonight. They had 2 hits until the 8th inning or whatever it was, the 7th inning. You can't win a game when you don't hit the ball. So
no, I mean, people are going to disagree with this, and that's fine. But the only Yankee who showed up to play today was Aaron Judge.
Pretty much.
That's the truth.
And Jason Dominguez.
Yeah, actually, Jason Dominguez had a nice hit there in the 9th.
We'll get to that later too, because that's another
first time he sees the field in the postseason. Yeah, like I said it in the short that we just released, previewing this show. We'll have plenty of time to discuss, the offseason and what moves they're gonna make and yada yada and what needs to be done. But
yeah,
to go from being in the World Series last year to losing in 4 games in the ALDS. You want to talk about how great Game 3 was and the comeback and everything. First of all, that game got to 6-1. So let's just reference that too. I mean, that game shouldn't have been 6-1 when you needed to win. But regardless, everything that happened in that game that was so magical is gone. It's erased. Who cares? They didn't come back. The game means nothing.
Right. It just means they didn't get swept out of the division series. That's all it means.
Which, great. Who cares? That's at the end of the day.
A loss is a loss.
This was a gutless effort from quite frankly, a gutless team.
Yeah. Gutless with a gutless manager who still makes dumb moves that I can't even. Why are you trotting Anthony Volpe out there?
He was the worst player on the field
with 10 strikeouts. He had 3 strikeouts in each of the last 3 games.
Yeah. I think he struck out in like 12 of his last 14 at-bats.
Yes.
Total.
Yes.
I mean, that's as bad as it gets.
And
he's completely lost.
Fox even showed that one guy in the crowd when he didn't swing at the one pitch that was down the middle and the guy was saying swing, and then he swings at the breaking pitch and looks completely feeble and gets booed off the field. Whose fault is that? I think it's Boone's fault. Why was he playing?
And they force-fed him too the entire postseason. force-fed into the lineup.
He
The
did
entire
make that
postseason.
amazing catch. I'll give him that. I will say, as bad as he was offensively, he was great defensively. And you know how we talk about that, right? We talk about the fact that sometimes when guys don't play well offensively, it can affect them defensively. It happened to Glaber a few times, and it tends to happen in some cases. But for Volpe, he was fantastic defensively, and maybe that's why they kept trotting him out there. But then, Boone will make a dumb move like taking Ryan McMahon out, putting Rosario in, which, by the way, he got the hit, right? But then the very next inning, the ball that's hit towards him probably would have at least been stopped by McMahon if he couldn't have gotten Kirk out. But no, it was enough. How many leadoff doubles did the Blue Jays have, by the way? Did it feel like they always had a leadoff double?
And also, Stacey, not everyone on your bench is an upgrade to who's already in the game.
Right.
Like, I didn't. Rosario's a fine player, but he's a bench player. He's not a 400 hitter. Why is he going in late? Was he the
and it wasn't even
factor
that late
in the game?
Right.
Yeah, that made no sense to me. I mean, a lot of moves just made, just weird stuff going on in this game. Managerial wise, the whole go out to Cam Schlittler and then talk to him and then go back to as if Cam forced himself to stay in the game made no sense. It felt like Boone was trying to rally up the crowd or get people involved and stuff by having the pitcher want to stay in the game. But Cam Schlittler looked like he didn't care either way whether he stayed in the game or not. He didn't
Right.
say to Boone, "No, I'm staying in." He wasn't get forceful on him. He was like, "What do you want to do?"
By the way, can we give it a hand to Cam Schlittler being the only starter that lasted until the 7th inning? And I know the Jazz play didn't help, and it was 4 runs, but 2 earned. But Cam Schlittler did better than Carlos Rodon, Max Fried, and Luis Gil.
Cam Schlittler makes $825,000 this year. Max Fried and Carlos Rodon have 2 contracts that combine for over $350 million. And Cam Schlittler was better than both of those guys.
Yeah.
You want to throw Gil in there too? Why not? He was better than all 3 of them. Schlittler was great in this game. 2 runs. Yeah. He gave them a chance to win the game. He did.
Yeah.
They didn't give themselves a chance to win the game. If you're going to score, I don't even know what the final tally was. I honestly don't care.
5-2.
Yeah, whatever. You can't score 2 runs and expect to win to win postseason games. It's not how baseball works. And
no.
Again, we can sit here and complain.
Well, I mean, you can if you can keep the other team from scoring.
Yeah, but not this Blue Jays team.
No, you can't stop them from scoring. Oh, I will give Cam Schlittler credit. He was the only Yankee pitcher, or the first Yankee pitcher, to strike out Vlad Jr. So good for you. We found someone who could finally get him out.
Yeah. I mean, he was incredible the entire series. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it at all. He was great.
He was on a mission.
Yeah,
defensively and offensively.
You know who didn't kill them? Springer. I mean, other than the home run in game 1, Springer wasn't crazy, but
the leadoff double, and then Vlad got him in. So that set the tone for the game.
Their depth pieces, though, what was great in this series, though. Kirk was awesome. Varsho was awesome.
Oh yeah, Miles Straw comes in. He gets an RBI. It's like
a lot of that kind of stuff. And their pitching's not very good. It's not. Like I can sit here and say even the Yankees lost. It's still the truth. Look what their bullpen did yesterday. I know Blue Jays fans are going to kill me for this, and they're going to go at me and they still won the series. They did. I know. I'm acknowledging that. Yankees are out and they stink, but it doesn't make the Blue Jays bullpen elite either. And let's address.
Wait. Okay. The Yankees don't stink. They won 94 games. Okay. This is the thing about the playoffs. You can have a bad string of games in the playoffs and it will cause you to get knocked out, because how many Yankee teams in the 2000s were considered really good and they got knocked out in the first round? Like, it happens. Well, it's baseball. It's the playoffs.
This postseason was very indicative of how their entire season went. That's my complaint. Like this wasn't, and those 2000s teams were very good teams and consistent throughout the entire season. And then just happened to meet up a team that was playing really well at the time, or bad matchups, whatever you want to call it. And
like they'd have like a bad 3 games, set, and it's like, well, that's all it takes for you.
This was the team not hitting, not scoring when they needed to, being quite frankly a gutless team mimicking their manager,
and just the bad at bats too.
Yeah, horrible at bats, horrible approaches. Yes. And one more thing, I feel like it's almost poetic. that the pitcher who's in when the Yankees decide to give it all up and really end the game for good? Devin Williams.
Yeah.
Devin Williams. So it was a lot of that. I do feel like this series was very indicative of how they were as a team. I know they won 94 games. Dare I say, it's a very fluky 94 games. When you watch this entire season and cover them as much as we do and watch all 162 like we did and everything. We did a show covering every single game this season. When you look back on it, 94 feels like a lot, right?
Well, it's one of the highest winning totals.
No. I'm saying 94 feels like a lot for how they played throughout the entire season.
Oh, yeah.
This never felt like a 94 win team. When you look at their record at the end of the year and you kind of gather your emotions of the last 6 months of how they played, it does not feel like they were a 94 win team.
Well, I made the joke that they were good in April and May. They were bad in June and July. They were good in August and September. And it just felt natural that October would be the time where they fall apart because they were entering another 2-month period where this would be the bad time. And it was the bad time.
Thank God it doesn't go till November.
Yeah, it was the bad time. The good thing is, now that I'm much older, I can get over this within 5 seconds. Like I just flipped the channel. I'm like, all right, whatever. If this were 20 years ago, I would have thrown something at a wall after Wells's at bat. I would have broken something.
My reaction, I guess, as a younger, more emotional person at this state in my life, I tried switching TVs. So I moved from like the den room that we have to the living room to try and like take up the mojo.
Yeah.
For the 8th inning, I turned the TV off and I put it on my iPad to try and change it up. That didn't do anything either.
Yeah.
And then I put the TV back on to watch them lose. It was I've often said this before, mainly to friends of mine. I'm not that rude, but I'm not afraid of getting into new romantic relationships in my life because no woman can hurt me as much as my sports teams have. This is worse than a breakup. And even though I didn't think they were winning the World Series, it feels the thought right now that I have to wait until the end of March to watch my team play again.
Yeah,
is awful.
Right.
I want to cry. Like I need a good cry right now. It's that bad how much.
See, I don't miss that at all. I don't miss that at all, but I was the same way. When they lost, well, this was different. When they lost in 2001 in the World Series, it was emotional because of 9/11. It was emotional because of the way they came back in those middle 2 games and just the way they lost in Arizona with Mo completely losing it on the mound. I cried for 3 hours after that game. And I was away on vacation with my best friend and we were going home that next morning. I didn't speak. We were in Wilmington, North Carolina. I did not speak until we were just outside Washington, D.C., because she knew to give me my space, let me be, and then I let myself. I mean, that was more emotional because of 9/11 and compounded with that. But I've broken things. I broke a TV remote in 97 when they lost to Cleveland. When they lost to the Marlins in 2003. I think I broke a teacup. I threw that across my apartment against the wall, scared my cats. I mean, yeah, I don't do that anymore. So
I'm not really much of a sad crier in life.
Oh, you're an angry crier?
No, I'm a happy crier. The last time sports made me cry was when Panarin scored the game winner in Game 7 against the Penguins. I cried in that moment. I don't cry a lot of like sadness in sports moments. Not a lot of those moments made me cry. This one doesn't get me to tears.
Right.
It doesn't.
No.
I didn't think they were winning the World Series, but
also,
it still does hurt.
It's just, I'm going to say it for the 5 billionth time that I've been hosting the show. And I know he wasn't at the plate, so he didn't have anything to do with the horrible at-bats, but this team will not win anything with Aaron Boone as the manager. And we need to accept the fact that every time this team makes the playoffs with this manager, no matter who is on the team, they are not winning the World Series. They may make it to the World Series, but they're not. You're just going to have to accept this, because at least when I was younger, I had hope that they could win, because they did win a lot in my 20s. And it felt more confident going into the playoffs. And it was more shocking when they lost. This isn't shocking to me. It's annoying, But it's not shocking because I go into every playoff game series with this guy as the manager in the back of my head thinking, well, they're not going to win anything. So
it feels like every time they put the camera on him, though, I'm waiting for another just I almost want his mind to stop because I'm afraid of whatever he's conjuring in there, how he's going to screw the game up, how he's going to get his sticky, gross fingers into the game.
Yeah.
That just.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go to
We're
break.
going to continue this discussion. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Help us out. Hit the like button on our videos. Hit the notification so you know when our videos go up because we will still be 5 days a week until December. So we're going to have to talk about a lot of different things. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. For the listeners of the show, the link will be in the description. If you're watching us on YouTube, there is your QR code. You'll get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to all sorts of transactions that the Yankees make. During the season, I would send out the lineups and any roster moves and breaking news, so you wouldn't have to check social media. And we had a Discord. We had a private Discord where people were commiserating during games. That's now over because there are no more games. Thanks, Yanks. We appreciate it. There's also a 14-day free trial. All right, coming up, more postmortem of the Yankees in 2025.
What do you get when you have a bald eagle standing on top of a silverback gorilla riding a T-Rex? Confidence. It's pure confidence. And if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Go Long. This just isn't another ED pill. It's a total game changer for your confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula, so you can get hard and go the distance. The effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. Your treatment is it's perfect. It's everything you guys could possibly need. Are you ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head over to Rugiet.com and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com, promo code one word, LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use our code so they know that we sent you.
There you are.
Oh, I'm here. I'm just.
I know how to do this. It's just my finger was like, and I didn't press the button in time. So I apologize.
I do want to. I'm not paying too much attention to the comments right now because it's becoming a little bit of a cesspool. Love you guys that are in there, but you guys are fighting with each other, and that's fine. I get it. Anger comes out in people in different ways. I do want to bring up Ollie, who listens to the show and always gives insightful comments in here. I completely and utterly agree with that statement. I keep hearing that argument. Oh, well, if they fire Boone, they're just going to bring in another analytical guy that's just going to follow their rules.
Mm-hmm.
Good. It's a different face. It's a different person. It's a different attitude. It's a different everything. John Schneider is all over analytics and all obsessed with analytics. His team's going further right now. AJ Hinch, all over analytics when he was in Houston, gets fired because of everything that went on there, gets rehired by the Tigers. They're good again. Alex Cora, super analytical. There's a ton of analytical managers in baseball, Stacey, but the different voices come in and change things. You can't just keep running at it with the same manager, with the same shtick, with the same nonsense. It doesn't work, clearly. And I don't want to keep sitting here and hearing World Series or bust. That's the mission. I get it. All right. That's the mission statement. Every year it's World Series or bust. We got to stop saying that because
it's not with this manager. It's not.
They've won one pennant in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
World Series or bust. How about win the division?
That'd be great. All right. Yeah. Because the playoffs are a crapshoot. Doesn't matter how you get in. If you get in as a division winner, or if you get in as one of the 3 wild cards now, because the Yankees, the big bad New York Yankees, are totally fine with being one of the wild cards because, anything can happen in the playoffs instead of being the type of team who wants to go out, kill everyone, win the division, and run through the playoffs. But no, it has to be a crapshoot. Oh,
And
well,
if they're really a crapshoot, then why did you fight so hard in the last week of the season to try and get the divisional title?
right.
For bragging points? Or was it maybe because that allowed the Blue Jays to start Gosman in game 1 and you had to start Luis Heel?
Right.
Like, there is that little bit of a disadvantage, and it's the truth. And then they started off down 1-0, and it gave the Blue Jays confidence, and they win game 2. There's a whole trickle-down effect to these kind of things. So,
Yep.
One thing I want to talk about, and there's 2 narratives that need to be established and discussed here. Aaron Judge could have and did. Both of these can be true. Aaron Judge could have and did have an amazing postseason. Really, he was great. He can also have a glaring missing hole from his career and his trophy case if he never wins a World Series.
Of course.
Both of those are true.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to hear it this offseason. There is going to be a group of people that are going to stick to the, Judge can't hit in the postseason narrative, which I think he dispelled. He hit 500 in the postseason.
Yeah.
So I think we can dispel that he can't hit in the month of October. He can. And there's going to be the group of people that say, oh, well, he hasn't won a ring. And those people are both right. The people who sit there and say that he can hit in the postseason, and the people who sit there and say, well, he still doesn't have a ring, they're all right. And maybe that's part of a curse of being a Yankee. But hear me out. We've discussed this 1,000 times, where if Aaron Judge were a Kansas City Royal, is he Aaron Judge? It's the same way we've discussed Derek Jeter. If he were a Kansas City Royal, is he Derek Jeter? Or is he... Remember that Jeter kid on the Royals in the 90s? A good player. But is he Derek Jeter if he's not a New York Yankee? And, for what it's worth, that comes with being a Yankee. You exceed, yeah, you're Derek Jeter. You're the biggest deal in the world. You're a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're unbelievable, and everyone wants you and everything like that. But Derek Jeter backed up by winning championships, and that's what made him Derek Jeter. And Aaron Judge, if he played for Kansas City, Minnesota, name the mid-range team that is good or whatever, he'd still be a great player. We'd still look at him as a great player, but he wouldn't be Aaron Judge. And he is going to go down as one of the top, let's just aggressively conservatively call it 10 hitter in the history of baseball. The top 10 right-handed hitter for sure in the history of Major League Baseball. It is a glaring hole on his resume if he doesn't have a championship.
Yeah.
It just is. All the other greatest players of all time have that hardware.
But who's to blame?
There's a select few.
Because one guy's not going to win a championship.
No, but at the end of the day, that still falls on him. It just does. Like that. Is it fair? No. But that is how it works, especially when you wear this logo. There are a select few franchises in sports where that is the case, and it's unfortunate. But again, the trade-off is you become a legend for these specific franchises. You are beloved forever, and you are looked at as one of the greatest in the history of that sport, no matter what, right? Yankees, Lakers, Dodgers, Celtics, Montreal Canadiens, Real Madrid, Pittsburgh Steelers. You win for those teams, and you are an all-time God status legend of the sport.
Right.
But if you are a great player on that team and you never get that hardware, you never get that chip, that always follows you. It does. Don Mattingly still follows him, Stacey, and you can attest to it more than I can about how great of a player Don Mattingly was. And I know from the history of it, I know he was an outstanding player. What is the thing that every Yankee fan, when you talk about Don Mattingly, says? Oh, 95 would have been great. Wish he would have stuck around for 96. I would have loved it if he got that one title. It would have meant that much for him to get that one title.
Well, he had already made up his mind. He wasn't returning in 96, which is why the players were so devastated when they lost in 95, because they thought they ruined everything for him. And David Cohn said that Mattingly was the one on the plane that wasn't crying. Everyone else was, because he knew. Mattingly was like, this is it for me. And that's why they were all, we couldn't win it for him, Yep.
And I have a fear that they're not going to be able to win it for Judge. And it's going to be devastating if he'll be the greatest player of all time to not win a championship.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, you think he surpasses Mike Trout as that?
Yeah. With the injuries to Trout. There's a couple of other guys that'll come to mind. Barry Bonds never won.
Right.
You could debate. Bonds is going to have more home runs, but there's the steroid factor. Like, whatever. We're not going to sit here and debate that. But he's going to be he could be top 5 in the history of sports to never win a title. And imagine if he becomes a top 5 player in the history of sports to never win a championship, and the team he played for his whole career was the New York Yankees.
Right.
Where winning a championship is synonymous with the team name and the symbol. Think about that for a second. It's awful. It's awful. And I feel horrible right now. And I honestly want to go to another commercial break because
it's so funny because fans of other teams, not the ones who are coming in here to make fun of us because, the losers who were already they weren't even in the playoffs, though the teams that haven't made the playoffs in like decades at this point, teams that haven't won in multiple decades at this point, or even like, up to 3 or 4 decades at this point, will think that we are the brattiest people alive. Oh no, you guys haven't won in 16 years. We feel so bad for you. But we're the New York Yankees. We're fans of the New York Yankees. They consistently have a payroll of plus 300 million plus. And they have a manager who just won't win them anything. Because if you think about it, last year, they win game 1 of the World Series. That whole series has changed. Rodon doesn't have the pressure on him after that disastrous loss in game 1. It's a totally different series, and it could have gone a completely different way. But because of this manager deciding to put someone in who hadn't pitched in a month to face the heart of the Dodgers order, they lost.
Yep. And I can sit here and cry about it. Again, people want to give us crap for it, and that's fine. But just from like a personal perspective here, because we love to be upfront with you guys about who we are. I've seen 1 title, Stacey, and I was in the 7th grade. Like, I didn't sit through the 90s and watch them win. I know the team that I root for just won all the time in the middle of when I was being born. But I don't remember that. No. Nor do you remember the 50s and the 40s and the 20s. Like, they might have 27 championships, but they've been around for 100+ years, and we didn't see all of those titles. And you're in it every year to see them win. And when they don't do that, it hurts. It does. Right now, at present time, I will not agree with this statement in 2 hours. But right now, you'd rather be the Pittsburgh Pirates, where at least you knew during spring training, all right, we're not winning.
Right.
Like at least there's no hurt in the whole thing.
Well,
there's no hurt. The Pittsburgh Pirates fans, when they were mathematically eliminated July 2nd, I don't think the fans were devastated.
No, but I was going to say, in spring training, did you expect this team to win a World Series? No.
I expected them to compete for one, as in being in the crapshoot.
They were.
Got to the postseason. Yeah, exactly. And then you had it. And then when you look at the way things played out and you start becoming more of a fan, which stands for fanatical, and you start believing a little bit, and then they have a great comeback like they did, and the Judge home run and the Schlittler performance, and there was a little bit of magic in the team, and they play a Blue Jay team that they can beat, that they're probably a little bit better than, and then they look at the next series, and it would have been the Detroit or Seattle, who both teams they could easily probably beat, and then you go to the World Series, and anything can happen. Yeah, I did start to think, ooh, maybe. But
no, but back in spring training.
Yeah, I thought they'd be one of the playoff teams. And I think if you get in and guys are playing hot with trade deadline acquisitions, who knows? If you told me that all of their starting outfielders would have 30+ homers, I know Bellinger finished with 29, but all of them would finish with 29, Judge to have 50, whatever he had, 52 or 3, whatever. Yeah, 53, yeah. Grisham to have 35. If you sat here and told me that all 3 of those guys were going to do that, and then Jazz was going to give you a 30-30 season. And then Goldschmidt was going to kind of play 3/4 of the time, but hit 270. Like, I would have told you they're going to be a really, really good team this year. And they're out in the ALDS in 4 games. And they looked lifeless.
Again, better teams that the Yankees had got knocked out in the division series in the 2000s, where they finished with like 98 wins, and then they got knocked out in 4 games or 5 games. It's just the way it works. Can't really do anything about it now. But anyway, all right, we're going to continue this. Actually, I'd like to talk about Grisham in the next segment, just because.
Sure.
All right, so we'll talk about that, and we'll tell you what's happening with the other series that are still being played. We'll talk about that next. Why can't I hit the button?
There's nothing like catching a baseball game live, the energy, the crowd, and the chance to see your team in person. But actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. There's queues, login screens, surprise fees. It takes all the fun out of it. And that's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all of the fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. The app makes things super simple. You get to see the exact view from your seat before buying the tickets, and the fees are always included. You know your total upfront with no surprise fees at the checkout. I also love the zone deals feature. You pick a section, Gametime picks your seats, and you can save big. It's honestly faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way that I've ever bought tickets. Here's what you got to do. Download the Gametime app today, create an account, and use code ONEWORD LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Gametime app today. Well, tomorrow we are still doing Fan Mail Friday, correct? So, guys, you can get your questions in.
Well, I forgot to put the post up for the YouTubers. So
okay, I'm sure people have put their questions in though.
Yeah, but there's nowhere to put them. I can't be searching different places for them. So here's the deal. This week's Fan Mail Friday is only going to be for insiders. I apologize. I wasn't even thinking about it. And honestly, I was kind of hoping the Yankees would get to game 5. And then we'd be like, oh, wait, let's do Fan Mail Friday next week. So insiders only this time. YouTube viewers, I'm very sorry. But next week we'll do
beautiful
Fan Mail Friday for everyone. Okay. I realized it earlier today. I thought I forgot to put the Fan Mail Friday post up. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I lose my mind during the playoffs and I forget to do certain things. So yeah, insiders know to get the questions in for tomorrow's show, because we're recording this on Wednesday, but it is technically Thursday's show. You guys all know that. So let's discuss. We discussed Volpe, who was bad in a different way than Grisham. Volpe was striking out a lot, but Grisham wasn't doing much either, because Volpe's average was like 190 or something like that, where Grisham was batting 140 something in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it felt like every time he went up there, I wasn't expecting him to do anything either. It was just frustrating after the year that he had, because you mentioned it. He finished with what, 34 or 35?
I think it was 35. It might have been 34, actually. It was in the mid-30s.
Still, if you told me that Trent Grisham was going to hit 34 home runs in 2025, I would have told you were nuts, because I wouldn't have believed it.
True.
And yeah, he just did not have a good showing here in the playoffs. And that's also what hurt them. You know, guys that were good in the regular season didn't show up in the playoffs. My boy Stanton, I love you. No Stanton home runs in the playoffs. We didn't have a Stanton bomb at all. And we were like waiting for it because of the way that he finished the season. You thought, okay. Yeah. And the way he came into the season.
He did hit in the postseason, though.
Yes.
It weren't home runs, but he did hit. Yeah.
Right. He did hit the ball. And, you know, Judge, that last hit that he had was so close to actually being a line drive home run. He just missed that.
He hit it so hard that it only wound up being a single.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, crazy.
Yeah. So I was disappointed in Grisham's performance. Bellinger a bit too. Like, there were a bunch of guys that didn't really step it up when they needed to.
You know, Ben Rice was not great in the postseason.
You know, Ben Rice had that first home run that he hit, and he had that first good game against the Red Sox. Then he was kind of quiet, but he did work that walk and that pinch hit appearance that was then ruined by Austin Wells swinging at the first pitch and making it out. Austin Wells also had a few big moments, but he disappointed me the most in this game, which is, I know, ridiculous to say, but as I said earlier, he's one of those guys who can work a count, and he just goes up there and pops up the ball. And I know I talked about how calm I was, but I did want to throw a cup. I didn't, but I wanted to when he did that.
You know what's crazy too? I know how much better he got of late towards the end of the year. But how did Austin Wells go from being removed from the starting position and Ben Rice taking over to all of a sudden the playoffs got here and Austin Wells is right back to being the everyday starting catcher?
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen? It's the same way I felt about Goldschmidt, who at the end of the year, when Wells kind of started catching a little more and they were using Ben Rice at first base a lot, all of a sudden, game 1 of the wild card series, Goldschmidt leading off at first base. Like, we're going to try new things now? I don't understand where that came from. Yeah, it is upsetting, and we'll have a lot. I hope this was therapeutic for all of you guys. We will have a lot more like productive off-season related episodes that are going to be coming up in the few weeks, because I mean they do have a massive offseason coming up with the amount of players that they're losing, that are impending free agents and all that kind of things. So we will break all of that down into a fine powder. But for now, it's just lay on the couch, stare at the ceiling, and talk your feelings out, because it's a bad one.
This is our last live show for now.
Yeah.
We may do some in the off season, like, maybe like a random day we might do a live stream, like maybe a day that you're off from work, like a holiday, like a random holiday. We could do like an afternoon
just throw it
hangout live stream. Yeah. Now we have basically a whole month to figure out what to do, because the Yankees got eliminated this early. At least last year they played until Halloween. So it was the entire month. And
now I have more time to watch scary movies, I guess.
Oh yeah, right. Leading up to Halloween.
Yeah.
Speaking of scary, apparently Clayton Kershaw was playoff Clayton Kershaw. The Phillies are up 8-1.
Yeah, Schwarber's got 2 home runs.
Oof.
Yeah. They they kind of fooled the Dodgers here. I think what was happening here. Now you can tell me if I'm wrong or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Phillies took a note out of Aaron Boone's book. Remember a few years ago when Aaron Boone fooled the whole world by starting Davy Garcia in a playoff game to follow him up by Jay Happ?
Mm.
And everyone was
Do I remember? I'm
shocked.
still mad about it, including Jay Happ.
Everyone was shocked and had no idea it was coming. And then the Tampa Bay Rays proceeded to just run away with the game because it fooled no one.
Right.
Well, the Philadelphia Phillies announced Aaron Nola as their starter in this game. And everyone thought, that's a little weird, down 2-0 in a series. You would think they would use Ranger Suarez because his road numbers are really good. Why would they use Aaron Nola in a game 3? And the Dodgers got a little confidence thinking, okay, if you're going to use Nola in game 3, we can close it out here and not to see Suarez in game 4. Well, they threw Nola for 2 innings. He goes 1 hit, no earned run, 3 Ks. And then Ranger Suarez gets up and comes in after that and goes 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts.
Wow.
And they actually fooled the Los Angeles Dodgers because they followed Nola up with Ranger Suarez. They didn't follow Davy Garcia up with Jay Happ. So,
I saw a comment. Let me get to it. I see you, David Lee. Here we go. The Yankees need more contact hitters, and we need better pitching.
They don't need better pitching.
They don't need better
pitching staff is going to go into next year as the best in baseball, probably.
I think the pitching staff, it was just one of those weird years where some of the bullpen guys had off years, and the starting pitching is going to get better when Cole comes back, hopefully. Max Fried will have another year of experience, or have a full year of experience as a Yankee under his belt. And
it'll be next year's opening day. Cole is on track to be there for opening day, if not like just 2 or 3 weeks after opening day.
Yeah,
let's just call it opening day for what it's worth. They're on track for their opening day rotation to be Cole, Fried, Rodon, Schlittler, Heel.
Right,
that's a really good top 5.
That's a good rotation. Yeah,
and then Clark Schmidt will be back in July, and then he'll be added. I mean, that's a really good rotation.
Right, and I think, well, I don't think they'd re-sign Devin Williams, right?
No, unless it's for a 1-year, prove it insanely cheap deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like if his agent is like that $20 million price tag that we thought was going to be there is not there, we'll re-sign for $4 million to try and build ourselves back up to get a big deal. Maybe that's the case. But
I do agree with the contact hitters thing, because they need to work with the guys that they have to figure out how to hit the ball and get on base and then make things happen, like how we want Volpe to be.
The problem is Ketel Marte and like the Diamondbacks aren't giving him up.
Right.
So you're not going to just get him. And Steven Kwan is certainly not getting given up by Cleveland. So
but I think David
means
there. But I think David means hitters like that.
Yeah. Well, what he means is throw the bag at Cody Bellinger. Because I mean that's that kind of player. Doesn't strike out a lot, walks, takes his hits, gives you a little bit of power. Like and I think they're going to go back after Bellinger, but whatever. We'll discuss. We have a lot of time to break those kind of things down. I don't necessarily disagree with him. I do disagree with the pitching. I would say this too. I wouldn't worry too much about the rebuild of the bullpen. They're going to have to tweak things in the bullpen a little bit, but Brian Cashman has at least proven over time that he can fix a bullpen.
Yeah,
he finds plenty of diamonds in the rough all the time. Plus, I think Duvall having a full offseason. They're going to have Bird in the bullpen too. Like they're going to have enough pieces where they'll figure things out.
I think so too. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Oh, so let's talk about Tigers Mariners, because the Tigers looked dead. They really did. The first 5 innings of that game, they looked like they were just giving up on the series. And then all of a sudden, they scored 9 unanswered runs. 4 straight innings of scoring. Javi Baez, first of all, why are you throwing a ball middle to Javi Baez when you could throw a ball 18 feet outside and he'll swing at it? What were the Mariners thinking there?
RBI single in the 5th and a home run in the 6th. I mean,
on the home run.
Glaber homers in the 7th.
Yep. It was Glaber Day. Thank you, Haiku Bob. Love you guys. Thanks for this year. Go Yanks from down under.
Well, we'll be back. I do love that you're from Australia. I would love to just have a private conversation with you. I have an irrational fear of Australia.
Is it the spiders?
And the snakes and the kangaroos that bite people and everything deadly that exists is there.
Yeah, I no offense, Haiku Bob, but I don't know how people live there, because I see things on TikTok sometimes with these giant spiders. Oh, who was it? Chris Hemsworth or Liam? I think it was Chris Hemsworth was joking about how there was a snake fell out of their ceiling into their guest room, and they kept the guest room door closed for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
First of all, how does a snake fall out of your ceiling? And second of all, an Australian snake? I can't even imagine how big it was.
I don't know what you guys are doing out there, but I'm good. I'll stay here. Game 5 for that series, by the way. The fact that the Tigers forced one is crazy.
Right.
Tarek Skubal versus George Kirby. A really good Game 5 matchup. That's going to be Friday at 8:08. That's a really good game.
Oh, apparently David missed the beginning of the show. Would you guys want Aaron Boone back? Yes or no?
Come on, David.
Come
back.
No, David. I constantly complain.
And the Cubs forced game 4, by the way.
Yes, it got a little scary, and the Brewers had a few opportunities to pull ahead, blow it open, and they left the bases loaded, I think, a couple of times, if I recall correctly. David, don't be sorry. We're just kidding with you. We're a little punchy. It's 11:45. The Yankees lost in embarrassing fashion. Yeah. We're just kidding. We're just kidding.
By the way, Phillies wore the powder blues.
Yes, I saw that.
Which might have something to do with it.
Looking up the score, I saw the picture of Schwarber rounding the bases in the powder blues.
I'm a big believer in this. Look good, play good.
Yeah.
I think cool uniforms help you play better.
Yeah. So I'm going to say this. If the Blue Jays make it to the World Series, and if the Dodgers make it to the World Series, I will be pulling for the Blue Jays. You know why? Because I want the last 2 teams to go back to back in the World Series to be AL East teams. I don't want the Dodgers to join them.
Okay, I don't hate that.
And I want Ty Mattingly to get a ring.
It's not the same as a player ring, but I get what you're saying.
It's a ring.
It's a ring. It's a ring. It's just
it's a ring.
Yeah, it's a ring. It's a
ring. I'd feel the same way if Mike Mussina became a pitching coach somewhere and got a ring.
Yeah.
Because he was the same kind of player. Came in 2001. They make it to the World Series. They make it to the ninth inning of Game 7. They don't win. His last season's 2008. He finally wins 20 games. He leaves. Giambi leaves. And then the Yankees win in 2009. So
Hall of Famer too.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I love Moose. Anything else happening baseball wise? I don't think so. Who do you think's winning, Tigers or Mariners? Because the Mariners have done well against Skubal.
Mariners.
Yeah, I think so.
I think being 3-0 against Skubal this year is a big deal.
Yeah,
there's
I think
a lot
so
of confidence they're going to come into that game with. And I think they're overall, like, they're just a better team. I'm not going to lie, like, Tigers Blue Jays would be an awful CS.
Oh,
I don't want that.
The Blue Jays would probably kill them. Yeah,
I think they would kill them.
They would sweep them. I think they would sweep them.
Yeah.
I think Blue Jays Mariners has a more attractive matchup. It's you have Raleigh, then you have the pitching on the Mariners side, and then you have all the hitters on the Blue Jays side. And who wins? The team with the better pitching or the team with the better hitters?
Plus, Wu will be healthy. Brian will be healthy. Plus, there's an interesting aspect too, because the Blue Jays are Canada's team. But there's a lot of people in like the Vancouver area that root for the Mariners because they're way closer. Right. But they still have an affinity towards the Blue Jays because it's Canada's team. Right. So I love that paradox of like, if you're from like the Vancouver, I guess upwards towards like the Edmonton area, like who are you rooting for? Right. Because you probably go to a lot of Mariners games, and they're the closer team on television near you. But the Blue Jays are Canada's team. Right. There's that quite a paradox too. I kind of like. Any prayer for the Phillies or the Cubs or no?
I think the Brewers are going to win.
Yeah, and I think the Phillies have a shot.
I think the Phillies do have a shot.
If this game is a signal of Schwarber and Harper getting going, and Harper's got 2 hits, Schwarber's got 2 hits. They have Christopher Sanchez going in tomorrow's game against Glasnow. The Dodgers starting pitching staff is loaded, but I think the Phillies. Dodgers still should rightfully be favored. I think the Phillies have a chance here, and I think the Cubbies have almost no chance. I think the Brewers are gonna. Yeah, Brewers are better.
Yeah, I mean,
and I would Brewers Phillies or Brewers Dodgers would be an awesome series. Honestly, either way.
Yeah.
I think the winner comes out of the National League.
You think the National League's gonna win the World Series?
Yeah. Unless miraculously the Cubs make a run there.
Yeah.
I think any 3 of these teams are better than whoever's going to come out of the American League.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, it's not going to be the Yankees. So.
Stay tuned. Yeah, no, I hate this feeling a lot. I'm going to go crawl into the fetal position in the corner of my room and just cry. Probably not.
You're not going to cry.
I'm not going to cry. I'm going to stare at the ceiling for a bit. Yeah. I'm going to check my phone and look for when my ALCS ticket money gets refunded.
Oh, how many years I had that happen where I paid up front because, before you had to, like, I didn't have to go to, I would get the ticket packs and I would, because that was part of the package, and how many times they would lose in the first round. So I'd get refunded for the
you have to pay up front. Yeah, up front now, like when you get your tickets. So I'm gonna get.
Oh yeah, I remember I paid like $1,100 one year for the 3 games that I had because I had 4 tickets in the old stadium.
Yeah.
So I'd get 1 game each round, 4 tickets. So yeah, there was 1 year was $1,100. I got most of it refunded because they lost in the first round. So part of me was like,
if you want to feel great about your decision to not renew your plan when you already decided that. I paid $1,100 for home game 3 of the next series, and I have 2 tickets. Well, I had 4. I got 4 to the game. So yeah, I got 4 to the game. My bad.
That is yeah. I gave up my season ticket package right after I hit 15 years because I couldn't do it anymore.
I think I'm going on 9 years now.
Yeah, I had 15.
I have had 2 bleacher seats and 236 for 9 years now, and I already paid for next year. Like I don't go a lot like during the regular season. I honestly don't. Just with the show and everything, it's so much of it more of a hassle to go. Right. And honestly, Yankee tickets sell every game, so I sell my tickets almost every game. But playoffs makes it all worth it. Getting into the building for face value makes it all worth it.
All right. Well, here we are. After a disappointing loss in the division series.
Yeah.
But you know what we're not disappointed in? The fact that you guys got us up over 10,000 subscribers.
Big time. It was a successful year for Locked On Yankees. That's for
it really was. It was. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate the people who view us once a week, people who view us once, the people who are the everydayers. We appreciate anyone who watches our show, anyone who listens to our show. When I started doing this show in 2018, I never could have imagined, one, that we'd be on YouTube, but two, that we would have over 10,000 subscribers. You guys are really amazing.
It's every night consistently because of you guys. It's thousands and thousands of views. It's tons of comments. It's hundreds and over 1,000 likes every night. I mean, this is an every night thing for us. And yeah, we work hard at it, but it couldn't be done without the success that you guys show us. Let me just read off. Let's gloat for a second because no one else does it for us. We have 10,209 subscribers as
we gained 15 subscribers since the last time I checked earlier tonight.
Yeah, but better than that, we have 2.2 million views on our channel, 91.4 thousand likes, 24.3 thousand comments, and 4,000 total shares in the last 7 days, Stacey. 75.3 thousand people have watched our show. Wow. Like, we can't thank you guys enough. My short of them losing has 6.2 thousand views. I posted it an hour ago.
Well, that's because everyone enjoys when the Yankees lose, because when they lost game 2, our video had over 15,000 views, almost 16,000 views. And when they won last night, the video had barely 3,000 views. I don't even think it hit 3,000 views.
Well,
because
I'm
that's
looking forward
the way
to see what this live stream has.
Yeah, because that's the way our channel goes. The bosses at Locked On think it's the funniest thing in the world because other shows, when they win, their shows do better. When they lose, people don't really want to listen to that. But our show, because viewers from other teams will come in to see how we're reacting to the Yankees losing. So it's always the opposite. The more the Yankees lose, the more viewers we have. And if they start winning, our views go down. It's just hilarious. I love it 100%. So much.
But we thank you guys. You guys make it all work.
Yep. So the Friday show will just be a regular pre-recorded show that goes up. It'll be Insider Only Fan Mail Friday, if you didn't hear that already. And next week, we will return to regular Fan Mail Friday. And we're still 5 days a week, even though the Yankees are out. We'll talk about the other teams in the playoffs because we can't just talk about the Yankees when they're not playing. And when the offseason for baseball starts in November, we will probably dive into free agent targets and stuff like that, like looking ahead to the decisions the Yankees have to make. And also, if you guys have any ideas, like if you guys have anything that you want us to dive into, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Feel free.
Yeah, because that could be fun too. And what year were we in?
2025, the good year of our Lord.
Well, let's see. We could have discussions about teams that won in years that end in 0. Like we could talk about the 2000 Yankees because it's the 25th anniversary of the Subway Series. We could revisit that at the end of the month because that was always fun. We could do like history deep dives and stuff like that because I love that's right up my alley. So we could do stuff like that, but just stick with us. We're going to be here 5 days a week until at least I think the first week of December. And then in the regular off season, we go down to 3 days a week until just before spring training starts. And then we're back up to 5 days a week. So thank you guys again for being with us this season. We had fun with you guys. We're sorry the team couldn't go any further, but stuff happens.
Word.
I really wanted to say something other than stuff, but we're not allowed to. So, yeah. But it starts with an S and it ends with a T. You know.
All
right. Well, Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. For your second listen, find the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night, every game, every night until the World Series champion is crowned. Won't be the Yankees. Get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that will do it for this very sad episode of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And thank you for everything this year through the entire season. I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.